Hi everybody, it's Ajanette and I am here to go over your mini paper. So in this class, as you have already learned, you're not just consuming research that's been written by other people, you're actually going to be producing research. So all those articles you've been pulling and analyzing for the APA module or that you've been analyzing for other classes, you're not only going to consume articles to get an understanding of what research is out there and to do a literature review on your research topics, but you're also going to conduct research and then write your own paper, which effectively is an article all on its own. And so over the course of the semester, we're going to actually participate in 3 different research studies. So I want to launch your very first study. Your first study is going to be a mini paper. So you're going to access that by going to modules, and then you're going to scroll down to the lab unit. You've already completed the AP and overview unit. Now you're going to go into the mini paper. Now the mini paper is going to be actually a group project. So this will be the only paper you will write as a group. You have to be very careful because you might work together with a research team in future papers, but you cannot have the same paper submissions. That's plagiarism. This is the only paper where you will write collectively as a group. So for this particular paper, we're actually going to be using archival research. So I'm going to have you access existing data that I've collected from behavioral statistics students from 2017 till now. We're going to do some comparisons on how things have changed how things have changed pre-COVID and post-COVID. So we're going to focus on 3 particular variables: stress levels, anxiety levels, or happiness levels. Your groups will decide which of those things interest you the most. You'll do some background research, pull some existing studies that have been done, looking at how COVID has impacted student stress, happiness, or anxiety. Maybe those studies haven't done a pre and post, and that's okay. But if they're just showing you how COVID has impacted these things, that's perfect. And then what you're going to do is I'm going to give you access to the archival data. You're going to choose your variable. Then once your group has voted on what you want to research, you're going to go to the library database, pull articles. You're going to synthesize that. So I have this mini paper, I call it a mini paper planning document. It's a planning tool. I have assigned you all to groups, and those groups have been posted on Canvas. And so I'll show you where those are all at in just a minute. So you're going to find out your group. We have 4 groups. And then in this planning tool, each group is assigned to a color, and each group actually will list out their name, their times when they're available. You'll list out what your choice is for your topic. Then you will also go and pull an empirical article similar to what you did in the APA manual, and you will go ahead and start to read and analyze that. You have a Google folder. You're going to upload it to that Google folder, get the shareable link, and then you're going to include your name, the reference information for that article, including the authors, the year of publication, the title of the article, the journal name, and the page numbers. And then you'll provide the link for the Google Drive that you just uploaded it into. So you'll upload it to the Google Drive you've been assigned. You'll get a shareable link, and you'll post that link here. I do not want the proxy link from the MSJC library database. I want the link that goes directly to the Google folder that I've created for your group. In addition to the folder, the shared folder, I've also created a Google document for each of the groups. And this allows you to collaboratively write your paper. So you're going to post that article information in 3 different places. You're going to post it in the mini paper planning tool. You're going to post it in the discussion forum. And you're going to go ahead and post it here in your Google Doc and add your comments and your analysis. And the point is you want to determine how your analysis of that and summary of that article can now be used to construct a collaborative introduction for your paper. And so that's what you're going to do. So from each of the articles, these are things I want you to think about, and then include a summary of that article with the relevant information. Y'all will get together and you'll discuss it, and you'll synthesize those articles together to create a cohesive literature review and introduction. And then as you move further, I've given you this mini paper overview. So this is an information and outline sheet. And I'm telling you about the study design. So this is going to be a it's going to be a non-experimental design. You'll have a quasi-independent variable. We say quasi because it's not a true experiment. And that's going to be the COVID status, pre and post. You will choose your dependent variable, or your measured variable that you're comparing between pre-COVID students and post-COVID students. Then you'll find at least 5 empirical articles. Each of you will pull one. Your groups may be larger than 5, so you may have more than 5, which is beautiful. But at least a minimum of 5 has to be used. You're allowed to use other sources outside of empirical sources. I'm happy to take other sources, like a popular press article or something that allows you to support a definition, or if you wanted to use some, like a New York Times article about COVID or something of that nature, you're more than welcome. But that would be over and above the 5 minimum. Then you are going to write your collected paper. It will include all of the sections required of an APA paper. So you'll have a title page, an abstract, an introduction, which is also where we do our literature review. It is not a paragraph. It is actually a paper all on its own. You will have a method section with each of the 4 subsections, including your participants, your materials, your procedure, and your design and statistical analysis. Some of these sections will be limited. You won't have as much information as we might include in our future papers. That's because we're using it off of archival research. So we don't have to describe materials because we didn't collect the data. So we'll have limited information available. And your design and statistical analysis is a between subjects non-experimental design with 1 quasi-independent variable and 1 dependent variable. We're going to subject it to, and actually we're going to subject it to an independent measures t-test using a criterion or alpha level of 0.05. Hopefully some of that terminology is familiar to you from your stats class. So in your actual module, this is your mini paper module. I have a summary page that kind of summarizes the whole paper. It gives you a link to all the resources that you're going to need to write your paper. Then additionally, I give you your writing tools. Here's your group assignment. So if you ever forget which group you're in, you can click on that. Your mini paper planning tool, which will always take you back to this, right, where you'll have all your group's contact information. You're also going to then have a link to each of your collaborative documents, and then your information and outline sheet, which will take you through the general description of the study, some general formatting guidelines, what you should include in each of the sections of the paper, okay? And then you are then going to dig in, right? So I've given you your group assignments, some writing tools. Now you're going to dig in. First thing you're going to do is choose a topic, vote on your topic. So these are all discussion forums. These are all information pages. These are all discussion forums. Every member of the group needs to post in these lab activities. The discussion forums, this is where deadlines matter, okay? Because you have to post stuff. And people are going to give you feedback. So first you're choosing a topic. Everybody has to vote because that's going to determine our next steps. Then you're each going to locate an empirical article on the selected topic. You're going to analyze that. You're going to put it together. Then you're going to now sit down as a group and talk about synthesizing that information. So I'm giving you the collaborative doc. I'm telling you all the information you should think about as you're analyzing the article. Think about what you learned in the APA module, and then pull it together into one synthesized comprehensive literature review, okay? An introduction. Open your introduction broad on the general topic of COVID and how it's impacted students. Then start to narrow and talk about your specific thing, happiness, stress, or anxiety. Then get into the literature review and start to tell us other studies that have been done. Describe those studies. What did they find? What was the general design of those studies? And then take us through, close your introduction with a description of your specific study. The present study will be conducted as a non-experimental, independent measures or between subjects design, analyzing how student happiness levels differ among students before COVID and after COVID, okay? Then you're going to go into, you're going to construct your introduction and literature review, post it. Only one person from the group has to post the literature review, but then every other member of the group needs to create a discussion post and share what were your contributions to that section of the paper. Then you're also going to review another group's introduction. And you're going to post comments on their post and say, you know, how they can improve their introduction. I give you specific criteria to analyze that section. Then you're going to do a second post, or excuse me, a third post. So your first post, what was your contribution? Your second post is a comment to someone else's introduction, critiquing and offering feedback. Your third post is now, okay, based on what I learned in reviewing that section from someone else's paper, what do I want to do differently? What do I want to incorporate and change in my own introduction? And you're going to do that for each of the sections of the paper. So the introduction, the method, the results, the discussion. Then at the very end, you're going to draft your title page, your abstract, and your reference page. You're going to create one cohesive paper. Go back and look at all the feedback you got on each individual section. Go back and look at what you all learned from reviewing each individual section. Incorporate those revisions into a final draft. Post a final draft for peer review. Same thing. You're going to give each other, you're going to say what were your contributions to the overall paper. You're going to go and review another group's paper and offer feedback. And then you're going to come back and say, what do I want to make? What changes do I want to make in my own paper? And you're going to do your final submission. Your deadlines are outlined. I'm breaking it up throughout the whole month of February. You're going to be working on this. Feel free to use whatever technology you want to meet on a regular basis so that your group can actively get together a few times a week. Or you can use our Zoom link that I have posted in our course for office hours. It's really up to you. Try not to use it during my office hours because I obviously might be in there. You should also be able to set up your own Zooms as well. So whatever works for you, okay? But do go through and review all the material thoroughly. I will post a video. I will post a link to this video in the document. I'll post an announcement with all the resources available and some guidance, and then I'm here with questions. And then there might be some changes in the group because we're still just before census and some students may still be deciding if they're going to stay in the class. So be flexible in that first week. I've made the groups large enough where